Hi, I'm Des. Spoilers, go! Attended healer! It's a 2/3 for 4, and when you gain life for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. Damn, that's already in a crazy archetype. Okay, at least the cat doesn't have lifelink. Oh wait, pay 3, another target cleric gains lifelink until end of turn. Okay, the cat's not a cleric. I gotta say, I mean, are we actually gonna see like a black-white vampire tribal ping away life gain death trigger amplification thing, and then also mono white life gain just optimized with Heliod, and then also a cleric version of the life gain deck? No joke, I feel like all three might be playable. We might even see an ultra defensive, like go fetch kind of deck that goes to get the angel and just wins. Like a pure defense life gain deck, that would be something. I don't want to see that, but that would be something. We might have 4 life gain decks. Anyway, next up we got Expedition Champion. It's a 2/3 for 3, and it has +2 attack as long as you control another warrior, which you probably do. So, I mean, hey, it's a 4/3 for like 3 without haste or nothing. It's still good, especially for a common. See, even they know you're not going to have a full party. Anyway, next up we got Merfolk Falconer. It's a 5-cost 4/4 flying, and whenever you cast a kick spell, scry 2. Ooh, that's nice, and this creature's in the air, and it's big, so this is just solid. Alright, next up we got Thieving Skydiver, a Merfolk Rogue, of course, and it's a 2-cost 2/1 with Kicker X. X can't be 0. They did that so that you can't just say, I'm kicking it, and I'm paying 0. Give me all my free kick triggers! But still, like 3 mana basically to make X equal 1. I mean, come on. So it's flying, and when it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, gain control of target artifact, but just artifact, with converted mana cost of X or less. If that artifact is an equipment, attach it. Damn, that's crazy. Like, that's narrow, and it's like weirdly specific, but that's crazy. And, I don't like this, but they aren't giving it back if you kill the Skydiver. If this leaves play or whatever, you don't get that back. It just says gain control of it. That's it. So even if it was equipment, you get to keep the equipment even if Thieving Skydiver dies, which I don't like that. That's super unfair. It's like the traditional way to do it is, when the source dies, you get your stuff back, both in white and in blue. And red usually gives it back at the end of the turn. It's just, it's too powerful to be like, I hit you with it, and then also I'm keeping it. So, I mean, you got the CMC, you're basically paying for it. If it's a 0 drop, okay, whatever. It's probably not that good of an artifact. You never know, though. And you never have to give it back, but it's only artifacts. And you're probably going to target something kind of low on the CMC scale. So, I don't think this is like game ending. I don't like the card. But don't get me wrong, it's a really good card. Next up, Shatter Skull Smashing. Oh, and the land on the other side actually does something. So the sorcery is double red plus X and deals X damage divided as you choose among up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, then it deals twice X damage divided as you choose. I mean, they can double whatever they want as long as it can't hit my life total, to be perfectly honest. You're dumping a ton of mana in here to get anything to happen, so oh no, now it's doubled and you removed 2 of my creatures. Good, you probably paid enough for it. I mean, that's literally 8 mana. This is the kind of doubling that I don't see as a problem because it probably should have been doubled in the first place. In fact, it should probably just say kill. I mean, murder costs 3 mana. Yeah, this is red, but like, geez. So otherwise, as Shatter Skull the Hammer Pass enters battlefield, you may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters tapped. Oh, that's the same wording, so we're probably going to have a full cycle of these. We're going to have 5 of them because they had a white one that did that, and I just thought the wording was kind of a white thing because it's a life gain deck, so you wouldn't care. But I guess the 3 life thing is a thing. So that's worse than a Shockland. We're going to have some cheap mythics in this set. Next up, it was a cycle. We've got Inscription of Runes. So this is the black inscription, which means we're going to have a triple modal, kicked inscription in every color, I guess. And because the set's a little weird, we might see a 5-color one too. I wouldn't put it past them because that's kind of like the lore. It's like the Seagate Expedition group, and they do all colors, and it's like a whole thing. But anyway, this one is 3-cost kicker 4 for total 7. Choose 1, and if it was kicked, you choose any number of them. Target opponent discards 2 cards, so basically just a Mind Rot right there. So this is Mind Rot Plus. You would now have no reason to ever run Mind Rot, ever again run this. Then we got return target creature card with converted mana cost of 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now that's an appropriate resurrection, 2 or less, not just Emrakul. Then we got destroy target creature with CMC 3 or less. So pretty restrictive on the bottom. They didn't want to go nuts with it for, even 7 mana, I guess. But those are all pretty decent for 3. I guess the value is in the optionality. So that's kind of cool. I have a feeling this is one of the weaker inscriptions. Next up, Blatharmasonderisco, which is apparently Craigbound Baloth. I'll take the word for it. And it has Kicker, which in Spanish is estimulo, which really just basically means stimulus. That's fantastic. Anyway, it's a 6/6 for 7. And let's see, it can't be countered. Okay, it has hexproof. Okay, that's a bad combination. And it has haste. Okay, I hate this. This is literally Carnage Tyrant. And if it was kicked, put 4 1/1 counters on it when it enters the battlefield. So this is actually a little bit worse than Carnage Tyrant. So there's no two ways about it. I hate this card. I despise this pile of garbage. I usually like cannot be countered because I'm sick of counter spells, but you don't just go and slap 4 counters, haste, and hexproof on it too. This thing cannot be removed from play unless you kill it in combat, and that is ridiculous. It's a green creature. Are you fucking kidding me? So now we get to deal with this bullshit for another 1.5 years. I can't wait. Next up, Royal Eruption. It has Kicker 5, which you're never going to be able to afford, so it costs 2, it's a sorcery, and it deals 3 damage to any target. If it was kicked, it deals 5 damage instead. Oh boy. Filler jank trash. Next up, we got another spell with a garbage come and tap swamp on the other side. It's Hagra Bite. And it's a 4-cost instant, and if an opponent controls no basic land, this spell costs 1 less. Boy, they're going hard on the mixed colors, and that's fine with me, but like you'd have to go hardcore mixed colors, like all 5 colors, to have 0 basic lands in play, and even that, I mean, Fabled Passage or something, I mean, come on. But anyway, destroy target creature, I mean, that's 1 more than murder. This is garbage. How is this a rare? Why is this a rare? This card's terrible. So next up we've got Kozuls Fury with a garbage mountain on the back that comes in tapped, and that's it. And as an additional cost to cast a spell, sack a creature, and then it deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to any target. That's literally Fling. Well, Fling is probably in my top 10 most hated cards of all time. I hate it. Everybody hates it. It's just pure degeneracy in card form. It's never just, oh, I desperately need to do a little bit more damage to this target. No, it's something they stole from you. It's something they temp boosted. It's some broken thing that's not even supposed to be there. It's like, you know, they drop an Uro and then, oh, in response, they fling it. While the go away triggers on the stack. Like just some just inherently broken shit is what this kind of spell does. So we don't need this crap in standard. At least it costs triple and it's got a useless mountain on the back. That helps people not play it at all, which I hope they don't. So next up we got Kabria Takedown of Kabria Plateau, which is just a garbage plains. It's an instant that costs 2 and it deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker. That is pretty good. That's usually either like a white-green effect or a mono-red effect, so that's weird. But it's not like we'd never seen it in white, so this is actually kind of surprising. This card's like really, really good. It's like they're favoring like white life gain and white colored decks again for like the 2nd or 3rd year in a row. This is unusual. White already has some of the best removal in the game mixed with some of the best creatures. It's already the most powerful color in Magic, so they should, if anything, calm it down a little bit, and this does not do that, but I'll happily play it. So next up we got Disenchant, a card that we badly needed to be reprinted. There are a lot of enchantments that need to be destroyed in the meta right now. And, artifacts maybe. I mean, we got equipment coming in, so this is going to be an important card. Next up, Spare Supplies. It's a 2-cost artifact. It enters battlefield tapped, and when it enters battlefield, draw a card, so that's always fun. And then if you pay 2 and tap it, you can draw a card. Oh, and you have to sacrifice it, so just like a delayed draw engine. I mean, you know what type of deck that's going in, just a control-a-thon deck, so yeah, I don't like this. More mill trigger garbage too. Next up, Cunning Geyser Mage. It's a 3/2 for 3 with Kicker 3. And when it enters battlefield, if it was kicked, return up to 1 other target creature to its owner's hand. Not really worth 3, but I mean, if you had it and you had nothing better to spend it on, which seems to be the theme of this set. Next up, Iridescent Hornbeetle. I thought we already had a card called that. I don't know, whatever. 3/4 for 5 at the beginning of your end step. Create a 1/1 green insect creature token for every 1/1 counter you've put on a creature under your control this turn. Okay, who would even know to track that? That's just going to start an argument if you're playing in paper. And also, that is ridiculously overpowered, especially with this not being legendary. This is probably, like, no joke, the 3rd most powerful card in the set. Unlimited free tokens for doing something that already wins you the game. That is truly and sincerely ridiculous. And they printed this in the uncommon slot. What the hell were they thinking? I knew we'd hit more game-ruining trash at some point. Next up, Cargon Intimidator. It's a 3-1 for 2. Human warrior, and it says cowards can't block warriors. And his second mode ability they can choose there is target creature becomes a coward. So they're not actually going to like print that on a card, I would suspect. So anyway, if you pay 1, you can choose one effect that hasn't already been chosen this particular turn. So +1/+1 till end of turn. Target creature becomes a coward till end of turn. And then target warrior gains trample until end of turn. Yeah, this is Warrior Tribal, which it's looking like Warrior Tribal might be white-red. That might be pretty powerful. So next up we got Seagate Reborn and Seagate Restoration. So the sorcery side is draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand +1. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game, although it costs 7. And then the land side of it is obviously not a normal boring island. It's a normal boring island that you have to pay 3 life for if you want it to come into play not tapped. I am not terrifically impressed by this card. I mean, that draw is insane, but by the time you have the mana, that might not be a whole lot. So this will not progress the game if you're losing, and if you're already kind of winning with massive card advantage and all that, you're probably going to win anyway. So just absolute trapping of a card right there. Next up, Sproutling as Marasa, or something like that. So that's Marasa Sproutling, obviously, and it's 3 cost 3/3 plant elemental. It has kicker 2, and whenever it enters battlefield, if it was kicked, return target card with kicker from your graveyard to your hand. I'm telling you, green's the place you want kickers. So I think if it's an instant that flickers this card, you have an infinite loop, but I might be wrong because it might still be on the stack and not in the graveyard. I don't know, whatever. Too lazy to think about it. Next up, Marasa Brute. It's a 3 cost 3/3 troll warrior, and that's it. How terrifically exciting. Next up, Morag, Fury of a Coob, another mythic, and I think the set probably only has 15 of them. And 5 of them are barely playable lands, so this better be good. Well, it's a 6 cost in red, so we're already really off to the races here. Legendary creature, okay. Each time you can, each creature you control gets +1/+0 for each time it has attacked this turn. Oh, God. Landfall, when a land enters the battlefield under your control. Gee, I wonder what happens. If it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. At the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures you control. Yeah, that's stupid, annoying, overpowered, and also simultaneously borderline unplayable in red because it costs 6. And by the time you can pay 6, where the hell are you going to get multiple lands from? And you're not taking extra turns, so you're not getting extra cards from your draw stage that doesn't get duplicated, so this is just another if you're already winning, win more card. Like, this literally does nothing. You'll have to ignore the entire effect and not swing twice in one turn if you don't have creatures big enough to swing. So in other words, if you're not winning. I'm talking a very high-level generic sense. You know, exact board states might be different, but this might look OP as balls, but it's really not unless you can swing away. And then if you can swing away, you got him on the ropes anyway. So it's still degenerate crap, and they shouldn't have printed it, and I hate it, but it's not as good as people are saying. Now, mixed with Lifelinkers, that's a different story, and I do believe he himself is a warrior, so, ooh, might have something there. Let's see, next up, Lithoform Blight. It's a 2 cost enchantment aura. Oh, God, that means Lurrus can resurrect it. I'm so excited. When it enters battlefield, draw a card, and it enchants target land. Cool. Enchanted land loses all land types and abilities and has tap for 1 colorless. That's funny. And then tap, pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color. Oh, wow. That's like such a troll move. You aren't going to stop a damn thing unless you got like 3 or 4 of these, but it's pretty funny. Next up, Hilath, World Sculptor. It's a 5/5 for 6 elemental, legendary by the way. And when it enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 green plant. Oh no, here it is. This is Annihilator of Zendikar, but the reprint, the modified version. Oh my gosh, they actually did it. Unreal. I think this was supposed to be a mythic too, and they didn't even do that. Wow. This was leaked like 2 months ago, by the way. So, yeah, when he enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 plant token for each basic land you control. Basic land. Then landfall, when a land enters the battlefield under your control, put 4 1/1 counters on target plant you control. 4 of them for every landfall. I mean, do I even need to say it's overpowered, or is that just obvious to everybody? Forget proliferate, forget also putting in a deck with that man land where you do almost the same thing. Just taking it for what it is. That is far, far, far too powerful for what it costs. This thing should cost like 15 mana, and also they just shouldn't have printed it. They probably shouldn't have leaked it either. Boy, 2 cards so far. Absolutely unacceptable, immediate ban on sight level of power in this set. That's too many. 1 is too many. So next up, Lull Mage is familiar. It's a 2/4 for 3. You can tap it and add 1 of either of them colors there. And whenever you cast a kick spell, you gain 2 life. Very, very, very nice card, especially with 4 toughness. But see, they're locking it into like, hey, this only works in a deck that runs heavy kickers. So then people build, quote, the kicker deck or one of the 2 kicker archetype decks. And that's it. It's already solved because it's like 20, 30 cards that share the synergy. So there only are so many ways to build it, you know? So the deck's either going to flop or it's going to be tier 1. And I'd rather come up with my own deck ideas than have the Wizards designers design my deck for me. So yeah, I don't like hit or miss style card design like this. Not smart. Next up, Cinderclasm. It's a 2 cost with kicker, 1 red. Instant speed. It deals 1 damage to each creature. If it was kicked, it deals 2 damage to each creature. Oh boy. That actually legit is really good. You can deal 1 to everything for 1 mana if I'm not mistaken. Probably not in standard, but recently. But then, I mean, for 3 mana to hit everything for 2, that's practically Anger of the Gods. I mean, Anger of the Gods is 3 and you deal 3, but it's sorcery speed, so this is still pretty darn good. Well, kiss your token deck goodbye. Next up, Boteen de Arrowina or something like that. So that's Skyclave Loot. It's a 5 cost sorcery, and you look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of creatures that make up your party, plus 3, hello, and then put 3 cards from among those into your hand, and then shuffle the rest into your library. I mean, you can't get out of paying 5, so that's pretty steep, but this is a damn powerful spell right here. This is just go get Ugin, basically. If there was nothing super game-endingly broken and impossible to deal with in the game, then I wouldn't have a problem with that super scry effect in the triple draw. But because there is, this otherwise perfectly acceptable card becomes completely and utterly overpowered garbage trash in a tier 1 control deck or whatever. So, I mean, why you gotta do that, Wizards? Oh, we're getting close. I am half asleep right now. Anyway, Dreadworm. It's a landfall thing. 5/4 for 5. Cool. Gets indestructible for landfall. Great. Cool. Good for you. Next up, Scale the Heights. It's a 3 cost sorcery. Put a 1/1 counter and up to 1 target creature. You gain 2 life. You may play an additional land this turn, then draw a card. That is a lot of subtle, weak things that come together to make an amazing 3 cost spell. I actually kind of like this. I mean, this would be good outside of a landfall deck, but it would be really good even inside a landfall deck. That's how good this is. Next up, Luminark Aspirant. It's a 1/1 for 2, white cleric, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Holy shit, free counters forever for 2 mana. Are you kidding me? There was a white siege card back in the day in like cons or whatever that basically did this, but for more mana, and it was one of the most just crushing, dominating, unstoppable cards ever. So doing it for even cheaper is probably not a very good idea. I mean, just free counters for doing dead-ass nothing other than not getting this thing killed is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. This is so disgustingly overpowered. So that's about 3-4 cards that are just right off the bat pushed too far. Thought this set would be good, but nope, we made it 2 days before they ruined it. So great, cool. Next up, no, we already did that one. I think, is this all of them? Good, I want to go take a nap. Oh, I recorded and edited this in 2 parts in case you didn't see the tonal change, because I fell asleep in the middle of recording and editing the first one. Haven't been sleeping so good lately, which is actually odd for me. I usually get about 8.5 to 9 hours of sleep every day, contrary to popular myths. So, oh, that's right, I got a bunch of shit to do today, so I'm gonna go get enough caffeine to probably kill an elephant and edit this bullshit. So, the standard 2021 queue is already garbage. Adding this with, what are we up to? 5 or 6 total cumulative degenerate cards that are just right off the bat ban-worthy, just game-ruining trash. Yeah, this set's gonna ruin standard. So, see you guys in 2022 when maybe the game will have recovered. Probably not. Also, I got another fun little bonus spoiler for you. Mark confirmed that modal double-sided cards, so like you choose what side it lands on, are going to be in the next 2 sets. So one of the most hated inventions in the entire history of Magic the Gathering's 26-year run, double-sided cards, the draft ruining, garbage sleeve ruining, obnoxious bane of everybody's existence who plays paper, they're going to put them in this set and the next 2. And Mark Rosewater's proud of that. He's very happy. He is so out of touch with the community and what they want. It is disgusting. So anyway, on that happy note, happy spoiler day, everybody, and happy Labor Day thing, or whatever the I don't even know what day it is. I've been up for like 34 hours straight or some shit, so like, I don't give a Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.